Okay, so what we're gonna do today is something called Squirrel Guard. It is basically K-Guard, but it's a modified K-Guard. So there's a couple of different ways to do K-Guard. This one modification, I guess, is the reason why they call it Squirrel Guard. It gives you a reason to name it something different. So, as we start in guard, if you watched in my last series, I was working the bicep guard by using the 2-on-1 Russian ratchet system. I'm ratcheting the arm, I'm trying to lace in, this and that. You could use this system in sync with the Squirrel Guard by simply attacking his arm. He feels maybe a little distress, so he puts weight on that elbow, all right? And that means this weight on this knee is lighter. And that allows me to swim my hand under my butt. If you have to, you can pick your butt up. And I'm gonna slide under and catch my wrist deep inside his knee, okay? If you hook the leg and just kind of pull like this, Hobson out of Vegas does this type of K-Guard, all right? But what changes this system is that I'm gonna take my right leg and I'm gonna shift it down to the mat, all right? So my option, what I'm trying to do is my foot's laced over his hip, my knee is down to the ground, and my elbow that's under is gonna be touching, and I'm gonna clasp hard, pulling his knee towards me as I push his hip opposite direction like this, okay? If my opponent keeps his knee up off the ground like this, I will go for a leg attack, okay? If I'm basing hard into him, I can take this free leg and simply knee shield it. If I wish, I can brace against his stomach, okay? Or just simply have it out here for whatever purposes I feel necessary for setting up other attacks. But, go ahead and put your knee down. This would normally be a panic mode, okay? But this is good for us, all right? So in the modified K-Guard, the Squirrel Guard, even with his weight heavy onto to my hand, as long as my shin is laced across the hip, my knee is touching my elbow, and I have a tight clasp on my hands, regardless of what grip you want to use. You can even lace your fingers. I have a good system to start playing with, all right? So let's take a look at some of the options. If right away I'm pushing really hard and I got a good bite and I'm pulling and he tends to lean that way a little bit, I will pull his leg all the way out and throw my leg over right into the knee bar, okay? That would be your go-to attack. So right away, if that knee comes up and they become light, even though other submissions may present themselves, this would be the most viable option, because not only will you completely break his posture down, but if you weren't able to obtain the knee bar, you would simply pass him and you could come up to back control, okay? Now, let's say I am in Squirrel Guard, he's down, and he's kind of playing heavy because, you know, he's nervous. So what we're gonna look for here is, where is this elbow? If he posts his hand up anywhere like here, yes, and his elbow is technically on the outside of my leg, all right, what I can do from here is control the wrist, and I'm gonna simply shoot my hips to the sky and catch the back of his arm with my leg for an omoplata. That's only if the arm's on the outside. I would come here, boom, catch, lace my legs right away. As you can see, I never let go of my grip right here, okay? If he begins to come up, I will lace over, catch his chin with my foot, and keep this tight, and then you can finish your omoplata any way you wish, okay? If he stays low in the roll right away, then you can simply just switch your knees out. I'm gonna tuck my knee on the inside of his belly, all right? and hug his leg and then his waist, and then come up that way, okay? It's a good scenario as we go back and forth. Oh, let's back up so you can see. It's a good system because you can use either one to set it up. Obviously, if I'm in this system right here, okay, and I shoot for this, that leg comes loose right away, I can actually readjust and come right back to it here, all right? Now, if my opponent begins to roll, I am going to pull my bottom hook out. That was the initial one laced across the hip and cross back over, all right? Then from here, I would stay hugged against the leg, slide this arm and tuck it under my armpit and then just squeeze my elbow back, okay? So that means, okay, this is my initial squirrel guard. I'm pulling hard. If I pull hard and he goes back down here, okay, and he starts to post, I'm going to push and pull with his, I'm gonna push with my legs, okay? I can slide his knee in and push him up a little bit. That obviously is gonna make him wanna push back. When he pushes back, I'm able to release the pressure off his wrist, shoot up right away into the omoplata, okay? Even if I'm catching it right away and he comes driving up before I bring his shoulder down, I will just simply attack the leg right here from the side, okay? If he begins to roll right away to get out, I will keep the foot on the same side, but recross my legs opposite and come out right here to the leg lock this way. There's a lot of different options. It's no different from the bicep guard that I showed before in the first video. You're still gonna have triangles, omoplatas, and knee bars, okay? It all depends on where they're posting that hand, okay? So I showed you the series of what happened when the elbow was on the outside of my knee. There's obviously scenarios and series of attacks from when the hand is on the inside of my knee, okay? I hope that helps out. It's a very, very good system that not a lot of people use because they're used to seeing traditional K-guard. When you drop that knee to the ground and you turn into Squirrel Master guard, you keep yourself safe from leg attacks yourself, but I find it actually more beneficial because when I have my elbow and my knee touching, it's no different from when I'm on top or I'm bottom in other positions. As long as I'm tight and locked in, I'm also safe myself. So having a system that keeps me safe and stronger, yet still allows me the opportunities to attack, and even just pass the position, like I said before with the leg entry, it's a very powerful position to add into your game.